Why would you want to put a smart door lock inside your house? Hey, set the mood.
On it. No. Hey Siri, wake up.
Well, there are a number of other reasons to put a smart lock on your interior doors, but there aren't many options out there for a smart latch style lock or doorknob that supports HomeKit. But we do have one today. Meet the Thorbolt MK1 smart doorknob with keypad and fingerprint reader, fully equipped with Apple Home support over Thread. We'll check it out today and see if this may be a good addition to your smart home. Let's go. Yo, what's up guys? My name is Shane and this channel is all about helping you build an easy Apple Home smart home with new videos and live streams every week. Big thanks to Thorbolt for sending me their MK1 smart doorknob and for sponsoring today's video. Now let's do a quick unboxing and overview of this, and then we'll get it all set up and dive into the features. It comes in 3 different colors: black, titanium, and silver. Inside the box we have a customer support card, an installation template for your door, and a user manual. We have the lock itself fully assembled. You can see the HomeKit code sticker on it here. We have a strike plate kit and 2 physical keys. It does have a solid build quality made out of aluminum zinc. Again, this lock does support HomeKit over Thread, so this lock does work exclusively with Apple Home. I do really like the fact that it supports the Thread protocol. That means it should be pretty fast and reliable, and you will need a HomeKit Thread border router in your home, like in Apple TV 4K with Thread, a HomePod 2nd Gen, or a HomePod Mini in order to use this lock in your house and connect it to HomeKit. Installation is pretty simple. First, remove your old doorknob. If you have a new door or need to drill a new hole, they give you a template in the box for that. Again, the doorknob does come fully assembled, which I do actually kind of like. So you'll need to take the cover off the back and then unscrew the 2 main screws that hold the 2 sides together. Next, you'll install the latch assembly first. After that, you'll slide the front doorknob through the latch assembly, and then you'll attach the wire from the front to the back, and then screw in those same 2 screws to reattach the front knob to the back. You want to make sure you see the up text and the reset button on the top of the inside doorknob there. Before moving forward, I check to make sure that the door shuts and latches properly. Now they do recommend that you leave the door open until the end of the installation process so you can test the doorknob and the latch. Last thing you want to do is get stuck in the room and during the installation with no way to open the door. So be smarter than me. Maybe read through the directions before doing the installation. I did not, as usual, but I did get lucky and did not lock myself in. But that is definitely something you want to take note of when you're installing your lock. For something like this, I usually try to get through the installation without having to replace the strike plate unless I have a really good reason to. However, I did find that the doorknob would not latch properly with my existing strike plate. So I took off the old one, and then I found that the one they provided was longer than the previous one. That means to install this one, I'd have to chisel away at the door frame there and drill new holes. So I really did not feel like doing that. So I reattached my existing strike plate that I was already using, but just moved it forward ever so slightly. Doing this allowed the new doorknob to latch properly, works great, and that just saved me a bunch of trouble and time having to install this new one. Now, if you haven't already, go ahead and put in your 4 AA batteries. Now, these are not included in the box, so you will need to provide your own batteries. Then reattach the cover with the little screw on the bottom. To set it up, you can do this either in the Apple Home app directly, or you can do it in the Sleekpoint app. Just note that if you don't use the Sleekpoint app, you won't be able to configure fingerprints or access some of the extra features. One nice thing about the Sleekpoint app is that you can use this express mode, which means you don't have to create an account. So I do like that option. I'll go ahead and do that and then tap add device. Here you can see the Thorbolt MK1. You may also notice a few other devices. These are all made by the same brand, including the Holomarq smart lock. I actually reviewed this one a while back when it first came out. It's a very similar device, with the biggest difference being the change in, just the slight change actually, in form factor and the fingerprint scanner. That other one did not have a fingerprint scanner. Now, I've not been able to find the Holomarq doorknob lately online, so I'm not sure if they stopped making that one and completely replaced it with this new Thorbolt, or if supply is just limited or low right now or what. But it is a very similar device, except like I said, I think the Thorbolt MK1 is a little bit of an upgrade since it does have that added fingerprint scanner, and I do like just the overall design of this one better. But more on that in a minute. Let's finish setting it up. Tap the Thorbolt lock, and then we're told to press and hold the reset button for a few seconds until you hear a long beep. Again, you do have to have a HomePod 2nd Gen, HomePod Mini, or an Apple TV 4K with Thread in order to connect this lock. Next, you can choose which home to add it to if you have multiple HomeKit homes. Scan the HomeKit code and let it finish setting up. Now, I did have some trouble adding mine to the app or HomeKit. I tried a few times both through the Home app and the Sleekpoint app, and it kept failing. I was getting an error. And this was also on a day that I had just updated my iPhone 16 Pro to the latest iOS software, and I was about halfway through updating most of my HomeKit hubs and stuff like that throughout the house. I used another iPhone that I hadn't updated yet, and the lock paired successfully on the first attempt with no issues whatsoever. So I'm pretty sure the issue that I was having had something to do with the software on either my iPhone or the HomeKit hubs that I had in the house at the time. Again, it paired right away on the first attempt with that other iPhone. So I imagine if this is an issue on their end, it's been worked out by now. Once paired, you can choose the room to put it in and change the name if you want. And this does work with HomeKit's access codes. So if you already have some set up with other locks, you can use the same codes and choose who in your home has access to this lock. And that's really it for the setup. In the Sleekpoint app, you can of course lock and unlock the door. You can create new users to provide access to. I'll create one for myself so I can add my fingerprint. For new users, you can provide unlimited access, limited access, which can restrict access to certain days and times, or one-time access. You can give the user a unique PIN code, and you can add multiple fingerprints for each user. You can unlock the Thorbolt doorknob in multiple ways. Of course, you can use the fingerprint scanner. The location of the fingerprint scanner, I think, makes it very easy and convenient to use as you are just kind of opening the door. It does feel very natural, unlike many smart locks where you have to kind of hold up your finger or your thumb to the door. You can store up to 100 fingerprints for each lock. You can also use the keypad. Now this is a little less natural because of the location of the keypad. Kind of have to bend down to see it. It works really well, but I would probably only use this for like guests that I haven't set up fingerprints for, or maybe for temporary guests. You can add up to 100 passcodes, and it does support anti-peep passcodes, which is nice. That allows you to enter random digits before and after the actual passcode, so that prying eyes won't be able to see the correct passcode. The keypad does also light up when using it, so you can easily see the numbers. You can also use the included physical keys if you want. I will probably never use these personally, but they're an option if you want them. And of course, you can use Apple Home to access the lock. We already talked about how it supports your user passcodes in the Home app that maybe you've already set up or that you want to set up. And since this connects over Thread, the response time is really good, I think, when using the Home app. You can also use Siri to lock or unlock your door. And of course, you can also add this to your HomeKit scenes or automations, which is something that I really like to do with smart locks in my home. I will often use an automation that automatically locks all the doors at a certain time each night. You could also use the lock to trigger HomeKit automations. For example, you could create an automation that will turn on certain lights in the room when the door is unlocked. And reversely, you could have one that turns off all the lights when you lock the door. To do this in the Home app, just choose your Thorbolt lock as the trigger for the automation. Say, when the Thorbolt locks, turn off all the lights in the room. So I think having an interior smart lock like this could be real useful in your smart home automations. Another nice thing is the notifications that you get with Apple Home. If someone in your HomeKit home, including your guest, uses the Home app or their access code to unlock the door, you'll get a notification not only telling you that the door was unlocked, but who unlocked it. So that's really nice. And of course, you'll get those notifications across all of your Apple devices if you have that enabled. Now in the device settings of the Sleekpoint app, you have a few additional features and options. You can enable auto lock. This can be set from 5 seconds to 3 minutes. Really nice that you can turn auto lock completely off if you don't want to use it. You can also lock the door from the outside by pressing the little enter button. Now this can also be disabled if you don't want that capability for whatever reason. By default, the keypad will lock down after 10 failed attempts within 10 minutes or 20 failed attempts within an hour. And you can also adjust these lockdown numbers and times if you wish. You can turn on or off the feedback sound. It is pretty loud, which is probably a good thing. It's also a good thing that this can be turned off if you don't want it. Then you can also see the battery level, the firmware version, and the thread connectivity details here in the app. You can see this is connected as a Thread child device to my network. There's also a log of all the activity. You can see when, who, and how the lock was locked or unlocked. They claim the batteries should last a year. Obviously, time will tell on that front, but the fact that this uses Thread should be a good thing for battery life. Thread usually requires much less power compared to something like Wi-Fi. Now the LED indicator light will blink red 5 times when you use the lock once the battery gets low, so you should have plenty of time to change them once your batteries are low. There's also a USB Type-C port on the bottom of the lock that you can use for emergency power if the lock ever dies and you don't maybe have replacement batteries. Overall, I really like this lock for your interior doors. It's great for home offices, maybe even closets or pantries, garage doors or basements. And yes, those bedrooms for all the parents out there. I think it feels much better than that Holomarq lock that I used previously in my studio, also made by the same brand. Now I really did like that lock too, but it was a little big for a doorknob. I think this one feels much more natural in the hand and just looks really nice. It's built really well. The only thing it really doesn't have is 1, Matter support, and 2, Apple HomeKey support. For Apple Home users, obviously you're good to go if that's your main ecosystem. It will work there. HomeKey support would be nice, I guess, but honestly, I never really use HomeKey on my interior doors, especially if there's a fingerprint scanner. The only interior latch style lock that I can think of that also supports Apple HomeKey is the Aqara U300. Now that's also a great lock, but it's a lever style lock. I really didn't want a lever style lock on my bedroom because, I figured it would always be catching like my wife's purse and clothes and other things as we walk by that area a lot. Plus the U300 is 3 or 4 times more expensive than this thing. So, there's that. I also love that it comes in 3 colors, so you're likely to find something that will match, your other doors or the style of your home. All in all, it's a great, affordable interior smart lock for Apple Home users. It's listed at $89.99 US at the time of this recording, and currently there is a $10 off coupon on Amazon, bringing it down to $79.99. I'll put an affiliate link in the description below where you can take advantage of that if interested. Let me know in the comments what room you might use an interior smart doorknob for. If this video helped, drop me a like and be sure to subscribe for more smart home content like this and live streams every week. If you want to see other videos on smart locks that I've made, check out this playlist right here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Wow. Folding laundry? That is how you set the mood.